All right, Herc. So what is, because I know if anyone can find it, it's you. What is this Club América's weakness?
If I had to find a weakness, because let's just say it.
Are you admitting you're stretching? You're stretching to find a weakness. Are you admitting that?
No, not stretching, but they've been impressive. Not just because of the 9 straight victories, but it's the way they are winning. They are clearly playing the best brand of football in all of Liga MX. And in my eyes, they're the best team in North America today. Wow. It's just a reality. But if I had to find a weakness with them, I think it's pretty notable that it's going to be Tano Ortiz. Just look at this game right here. They rested players against Necaxa. You just saw Dos Santos scoring a goal. You saw Roger scoring a goal. That's because the starters weren't playing. They mixed it up versus Necaxa when they probably should have waited to mix it up versus Santos midweek, because what comes after is going to be El Clásico versus Chivas, Clásico Nacional. So if I had to pick one, it's going to be Tano Ortiz, and we can go back to the playoffs of last year. Playoffs in a 2-legged series versus Pachuca. A 2-legged series where he sits out Richard Sanchez in leg 1, saving him for leg 2, and pretty much throws away that series. A series where instead of playing Henry Martin, he experiments with Federico Viñas, and it doesn't go his way, where they lose on aggregate 4-1. This is, if I had to pick something, had to find something, what's most notable, I should say, it's their manager, the lack of experience by Tano Ortiz. And listen, there's only one way to gain that experience, but you've learned many times, tenfold over, that in Liga MX, in playoffs, in Liguilla, it's about what you do in the post-temporada. And Guillermo Almada ate his lunch last time.
Okay, so Tano Ortiz, you're worried about him as the manager, right? I have to say that on this program, you have been wrong about Tano Ortiz before. You have not given him his due, Herc. When he was an interim manager
last time against Pachuca, when I told you he would.
When he was an interim manager, you didn't want them to give him the job. Then, when he got off to a slow start this season, you wanted him to fire him. And he's still there. He's pulled this team out of a downward spiral twice now, Herc, and you have still continued to doubt him.
You got me confused with Pedrosa.
Let me understand exactly what your concern is with Tano Ortiz, because I do maybe understand a little bit here. Is it that he's going to pick the wrong lineup? Because right now I don't know if he knows what that best 11 is for Club América. There's so many options up top. There's so many options in midfield. I even think like we've seen a little bit of instability in terms of who's going to really be on that back line. So for me, that's maybe the question with Tano Ortiz is, does he know what the best 11 is yet? Is that your big concern, that he's going to get the lineup wrong?
I think he realizes his best 11. I just think in the critical moments of Liguilla, managing a 2-leg series, it's where it's going to be all foreign to him, where it's going to be new to him, where he struggled against Pachuca, where Guillermo Almada ate his lunch last postseason.
So you don't think he has the technical nous? The tactical nous? You don't think he's got the tactics for it?
No, it's not that I don't think he has the tactics for it, but if I need to find a weakness in this team, I think he's the glaring weakness. It's the inexperience of Tano Ortiz. Because everybody talks about this 9-game stretch of victories, which is very impressive, but is it more impressive than 73 points in the calendar year, which was historic in Liga MX? Because the guy who he took over for, Solari, he did that. He did that in 2 seasons. So we can sit here until we're blue in the face and talk about how impressive this is, but the reality is, and you know this very well, you're an Americanista. You won't care unless he lifts the cup. If they're 1-out again to Pachuca again, because it was Solari to Pachuca that he was gone, and now it was Tano Ortiz to Pachuca and he's gone. If he's 1-done again, it doesn't matter what kind of streak you had. It doesn't matter how good you were in said streak. It's a fracaso. It's a fracaso to you, to your team, to your fan base, and to the ownership group. So it could be a fracaso that ends up being your last fracaso with said team.
All right, there it is. Club América. According to Herc, it sounds like
do you not agree?
Headed to a fracaso. No, of course. With Club América, you have to lift the trophy.
No, what's their weakness?
At the end of the season. Honestly, I don't know that I really feel super confident in the defense. I know that's crazy because they haven't given up a ton of goals.
12 goals.
But Nestor Araujo has moved all around, hasn't always been in there. Is it Bruno Valdez and Cáceres? What is it a back 2? Is it a back 3, which we've seen them play at sometimes?
Laras, Naves, yeah. Yep.
I think for me, even though the goals against says they're very good defensively, that might be also a concern if I were ever to be a pessimistic Herc America fan, which you know in how I am with my fandoms, I can be pessimistic from time to time.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.